The new Kingpin of Gotham.
In a modern era where the superhero genre itself has become abhorrently overinflated with its own content, one could argue it's done nothing but suffer from its own success. But at the same time, as with anything else in the world, when you completely overflood the market with any particular product, the value the product once had simply goes straight out the window. However, when this process is consecutively done year after year, a new normal is made where there's so much superhero content out there, consumers simply don't have the appetite anymore to do what they do best: consume. At the current rate these movies have been made over the past decade with no signs of slowing down, none of these superhero movies today are given enough time to fully even digest before the next one is already well on its way. It's almost as though each time someone goes out to their favorite restaurant, they only want to be fed their favorite course, not be force-fed 3 to 4 additional meals solely for the sake of staying up to date with what's on the menu. If the superhero genre is to ever be fully appreciated again, the best thing that can happen to it is to take a damn break already. Or rather, give its own audience one so they can have some proper time to breathe before the next one. But as of 2023, the new normal is simply everyone trying to navigate the swamp that was once such a great genre, where now there's so much garbage to sift through. Rather than wasting precious time and money watching it all, a huge portion of audiences have turned to YouTube to find out what's a complete waste of time and what's actually good. So naturally, when I first saw the new trailer for The Penguin, I couldn't help but think to myself how nicely it'll be to finally take a break from the supers of the world. You see, if hero content is absolutely mandatory to be in theaters year-round, then call me crazy for actually liking the prospect of a new TV show that seems far more focused on telling a story with characters who don't have stupid superpowers for once. Getting a show with characters that don't have superpowers as their entire personality is absolutely a step back in the right direction. With that being said, getting a character like the Penguin to be portrayed by the one guy who made standing in a phone booth for 80 minutes actually watchable is not only great to see again, but it's also incredibly difficult to even pull off in the first place. The fact that Colin Farrell willingly subjects himself to spending nearly 4 hours in makeup just to simply pull off the look for such an incredibly detailed character is really a testament to his appreciation of the craft for becoming the man he'll need to put on an entirely different accent for as well. The good news is, over time, somehow they managed to speed up the makeup application process to roughly just over 2 hours. But damn, I'll say it again just like I did in my last Batman review, I'm certainly left scratching my head as to why the hell they didn't just actually cast someone who looks a little bit closer to the part in the first place. But whatever, his performance in The Batman has spoken for itself, and now, thanks to the success of his contribution to the film, we'll all get to revisit what is arguably the best version of Gotham City I've ever seen put to screen. No, seriously, even more than the Penguin himself, the city we were shown in The Batman is undoubtedly a whole character in itself, and getting to spend an entire season exploring the rainy city of crime with its excessive amount of dark alleyways and exclusively yellow lights for some reason sounds like a pretty damn good time if you ask me. So I'd definitely keep an optimistic eye out for this one, so long as the writers don't let any characters like Catwoman show up with their preachy messages to force on people who are simply trying to enjoy Matt Reeves' creation and explore these characters a bit more. Then, hopefully it'll avoid turning into the next Batwoman, as long as it's careful enough, of course.
The city needs a hero. It needs a Batwoman.
I got you like a goddamn fish.
Boo!
In short, this may not exactly be a show anyone expected to happen, or even ask for that matter, but either way, at least we're getting a more down-to-earth, smaller scale, and lesser stakes themed TV show again, with an actually likable character. Learning to understand their motivations and perspective in a whole new way, knowing damn well sure that they are both content and fully aware that they are the villain of the series, rather than having the characteristics of a villain, while constantly telling your audience that you're the hero and the most relatable person on earth. Honestly, if Jen had just proudly outed herself as a villain who was shameless for every belief she had because she was a villain, it would have worked far better for her character, because deep down, she would have known it was wrong and based on a poor foundation combination of bitterness, insecurity, and unfair hatred of men in general due to her own personal bias she's had, one that ultimately stemmed from the hatred she has for herself. Then, perhaps by the end of She-Hulk, with all of this acknowledged, at least she would have stood a chance for a character arc of some sort, and even given us a new version of her, without her garbage personality being the only thing to look forward to in her future appearances. But nope, according to Disney Marvel, she's no villain, she's a She-Ro. And she's perfect in every way, and any future appearance she may or may not have will get Jen all over again. Which honestly couldn't be a worse way to sink your own character into the dirt. When you make them perfect, the story's over before it even begins. This is why, when it comes to the Penguin, odds are we'll see all this character's flaws in a way that isn't promoted as normal or acceptable behavior for everyday life. Because he's the villain, we know his actions won't be framed as those of the hero. He'll be proudly morally corrupt and unashamed of his actions that he's well aware are those of evil people, ultimately choosing to embrace it as his path of life. Make no mistake, this will not be what we got in She-Hulk. What we'll inevitably see is no effort to portray him as a hero, but what we will see is ultimately his reasonings and motives for doing what he does. Being fully aware that these are morally flaws, it leaves plenty of room for both redemption and even sympathy or relatability to how he's become who he is today, which is far better than having absolutely no room for either. Making one series surprisingly watchable before it even releases, and one whose initial trailer is disliked bomb into oblivion and cancelled after just 9 episodes. Imagine that, huh? Anyways, I hope you guys like this trailer review, so feel free to comment down below and let me know what movie or trailer you'd like me to review next. Whether it's good, or whether it's just another hero whose biggest kryptonite is their own personality, remember, I'll fucking judge.
You want to say something to the camera?
You want me to say to the camera?
I don't know. What do you want to say? You want to
Show?
want to confess?
See the tickets. You pay for this performance. Careful.